Welcome back to Unboxing OD. I'm your host, Kenneth Pearson, and today I want to have an honest conversation about something every organizational development practitioner eventually faces. What to do when your diagnosis reveals something no one wants to hear. This episode speaks to those moments when your findings do more than highlight surface level gaps. They reveal deep-rooted tensions, power struggles, fractures in trust, and sometimes dysfunction that runs all the way to the top. It's in those moments that OD work moves from analytical to intimate, from process-driven to deeply human. And that's when it matters most. If you're watching this or listening in, you might be a consultant, a coach, an internal OD partner, or maybe just someone who has found themselves sitting in the messy middle of change. No matter your role, delivering hard truths with integrity, care, and clarity is part of the work, and it's not easy. So let's talk about how we do that. Every diagnostic moment starts with hope. You're invited in to listen, to observe, to help an organization get better. People speak to you in confidence. Surveys come back with rich, sometimes painful data. You hear things like, leadership is out of touch. There's no psychological safety here. We say we value transparency, but that's not what we experience. As the OD professional, you start to see the patterns, you see the contradictions, and you know what the system needs to hear. But that doesn't mean the system is ready to hear it. This is when things get real. This is when we shift from surface level changes to the kind of deep internal shifts that make people uncomfortable, but ultimately make the organization stronger. One of the trickiest aspects of OD is that you're often telling the truth to the people who signed your contract. There is always a risk. If you name what needs to be named, will they shut the work down? Will they pull the plug? Will they dismiss you as too negative or not a cultural fit? And yet, if you soften your findings too much, if you dilute what you're seeing, if you avoid the deeper issues, then you're not really doing OD. You're just window dressing dysfunction. There's a difference between diplomacy and avoidance. Diplomacy is delivering the truth in a way that people can hear it. Avoidance is never getting around to delivering it at all. So what's the strategy for delivering the message? First, context matters. You can't just drop a harsh truth and walk away. You have to build a container around it. That means establishing trust from the beginning, setting the expectation that you will be honest, and creating space for discomfort to be a part of the process. Second, remember that how you deliver the message matters as much as what you say. Instead of saying your leadership is the problem, you might say many employees shared experiences that suggest there's a disconnect between stated values and lived experience, particularly when it comes to leadership visibility. That framing doesn't dilute the truth. It delivers it in a way that invites reflection instead of defensiveness. It opens the door, because if the door slams shut, the work ends there. When you present findings, lead with both data and narrative. Numbers alone can be dismissed as anomalies. Stories alone can be dismissed as drama. But when you bring both together, you create a fuller picture. You might say, in the last 6 months, 72% of survey respondents noted concerns about psychological safety. One comment captured it clearly. We have town halls, but we all know not to speak up. That combination of evidence and voice brings weight to your message. It's a reminder that this isn't just theory. It's the lived experience of the people inside the organization. Another key strategy, sequencing. You don't have to deliver all your findings in one session. Start with the wins. Name what is working. Show the client or leadership team that you see the strengths. Then gently build toward the hard truths. This is not about manipulation. It's about preparing the nervous system. If you lead with threat, people shut down. If you lead with alignment, people stay open. And OD work depends on openness, not defensiveness. When you finally do deliver the hard message, you need to hold the room. That means being grounded. That means staying present if someone gets defensive, emotional, or dismissive. That means being able to say, I understand this is difficult to hear, and it's also what emerged from your people. And then pause. Let the silence work. Let people feel the weight of what you're saying. Silence gives people space to digest, to reflect, and to begin making meaning of what they're hearing. You also have to be prepared for what comes next. The leader who immediately shifts the blame, the executive who nods politely but will circle back later to question your methods, the HR partner who feels caught in the middle. These moments are normal. They're not signs that you failed. They're signs that you're doing the work, because real change often begins with resistance. Sometimes you will deliver a hard message and the client won't want to hear it. Sometimes they'll push back. They might even end the work. And that hurts. But here's what matters. You stayed in integrity. You honored the voice of the people who trusted you with their stories. You named what needed to be named. And that is the work. It's easy to stay in alignment when the feedback is positive. It's harder when the truth causes discomfort. But if we shy away from truth, we abandon the role we've been asked to play. Telling the truth is just the beginning. Once the message lands, your job is to guide, to help leaders sit with the discomfort, to help teams explore the path forward, to turn awareness into action. That might look like small steps, hosting listening circles, re-examining team norms, aligning leadership behavior with values. Or it might look like larger scale redesigns of culture, systems, and strategy. The truth is the pivot point, but transformation is the path. Thank you for spending time with me today on Unboxing OD. These conversations matter, and so does your presence here. The work of OD is not just about models and metrics. It's about being willing to speak the truth, even when that truth lands heavy, especially then. If this episode struck a chord and you're looking for ways to realign your leadership presence with clarity and intention, I invite you to explore our newest offering, the 21-Day Leadership Realignment. It's a self-paced course designed to help you reconnect with your values, sharpen your focus, and re-engage with the kind of leader you want to be. Just 15 to 20 minutes a day for 3 weeks of purposeful recalibration. And of course, if your organization is ready for deeper, story-driven OD support, or if you're just curious about the flow of 5 tiers, you'll find everything you need to know on the Pearson & Pearson website at www.pearsonpearson.llc. The link will be in the show notes. So until next time, keep asking the deeper questions, keep building your capacity for discomfort, and keep unboxing what's possible in your workplace. Take care.